Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. People, this the intro.
Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
The Chicago Bears dropped to a record of 2-6 after losing to the Los Angeles Chargers 30-13 on Sunday Night Football. Bears fans, let's go ahead and talk about this game. Bears fans, before I go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I first off just want to apologize once again for not doing a live stream of the Bears and Chargers game. It's not like I missed anything. The Bears got blown out once again on prime time by a score of 30-13. So I know I didn't miss anything, but I do feel bad that I did miss a live stream. I know some of you guys really enjoy my play-by-play and live reaction videos of these Bears games, but I was feeling under the weather, and I'm still feeling under the weather, but I do feel a little bit better in order to make this video for you guys and give you guys my take on this loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm going to tell you, I do not feel any better about this football team. I like to say that after 8 games of the NFL season, you know what your football team is, and the Chicago Bears are just not a good football team. And for the most part, we understood that, but this game clarifies that the Chicago Bears are just not quite there yet in terms of being a good football team. First things first, I have to bring this up because it really bothers me at this point. Velus Jones Jr., Bears fans, is absolutely terrible. He dropped a wide open throw from Tyson Bagent that would have been a huge play for the Chicago Bears offense. And for some reason, every time Velus Jones Jr. has an opportunity to make a big play for the Chicago Bears, he absolutely always messes things up. So at this point, I think we can understand that that is a bust of a player by Ryan Poles. I think Velus Jones Jr. Has the intangibles to be a very good player in the NFL, but he just has not yet put it together. And the thing is, he's not even good in special teams either. So at this point, there is no value in terms of what Velus Jones Jr. offers this football team. And I think that was just a cherry on top of not being able to make that play when you are wide open in the end zone is absolutely miserable. I definitely feel bad for the kid because he cannot catch a break. But at the end of the day, the ball hit you right in the chest, and you were unable to make a big play for your backup quarterback in Tyson Bagent. So at this point, I think Velus Jones Jr. In a Chicago Bears uniform, I think he'll finish out the season in a Bears uniform. But after this year, I think he will no longer be on the Chicago Bears because it's been very, very bad for Velus Jones Jr. Bears fans, I also want to talk about the officiating in the Sunday night matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. And don't get me wrong, we didn't lose the game because of the refs, but they were absolutely terrible in this football game. For example, in the very first play of the game where Tyson Bagent went deep to Darnell Mooney, Darnell Mooney was not touched down. Obviously, Darnell Mooney has to have a little bit more awareness to get up and sprint towards the end zone because it was clearly going to be a touchdown for the Chicago Bears, but they blew the whistle dead. But when you look at the replay, Darnell Mooney definitely wasn't touched down. So that was a blatant mistake by the referees in last night's loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. There's also an instance where Justin Herbert threw an intentional grounding, but they did not call it. That was also a blatant miss by the referees as well. There's also a play to Cole Kmet where he was initially tackled, but he broke free and his forward progress was not stopped. And that would have also been a big touchdown for the Chicago Bears. But overall, I don't like to make excuses. The Los Angeles Chargers were the better football team in last night's game, even though their record is 2-4. The Los Angeles Chargers are still better than the Chicago Bears, but the referees were absolutely terrible last night as well. Bears fans, another huge aspect of this game was the missed tackles by the Chicago Bears defense. And we live and die by swarming to the football. And the thing is, we were swarming to the football. The effort was there, but we were just missing tackle after tackle. And it was just super frustrating because it was guys like TJ Edwards missing tackles. One of the best tacklers in the NFL today was missing tackle after tackle. He definitely had a rough game in terms of making tackles, and that led to a couple of huge plays for Austin Eckler that led to huge time scores for Los Angeles Chargers. It was definitely a difference in that game that the Chicago Bears defense was struggling making tackles on this Chargers offense. So that was definitely discouraging, especially when you know that is something that Matt Eberflus preaches, right? So at that point, it's just the terms of execution. I think when you look at the defense, we weren't far off. I think the defense didn't play good, but in the second half, they did adjust well, only gave up 6 points to the Los Angeles Chargers offense. But when you really look at the missed tackles, that was definitely a huge aspect of last night's loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. Last but not least, Bears fans, I want to talk about Tyson Bagent, and I want to give him his flowers. I think for the most part, he looked decent. I think he did everything that he could in his power to try to keep the Chicago Bears in this football game. But at the end of the day, I think at this point, he exceeded my expectations for sure. He proved that he can play in the NFL. But at the end of the day, I think Tyson Bagent is just a very good backup for the Chicago Bears. I truly feel that there's no quarterback controversy here. I think once Justin Fields is healthy, Justin Fields will once again be QB1 in Chicago, the starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears. But when you look at Tyson Bagent's stats, he was 25 for 37, 232 yards, and he also had 2 interceptions. You can tell when the pressure is in his face, and obviously when the run game is not getting going, when the defense is not playing well as well. Obviously, Tyson Bagent looks like the undrafted rookie. He was making sporadic decisions. Obviously, every throw wasn't good, and that is in terms of him not being comfortable in the pocket. When you look at the game against the Las Vegas Raiders, he was comfortable in the pocket. The running game was going. The defense was playing well. But obviously, that was not the case in the loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. And when guys like Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are able just to peel their ears back, and when you're down big, that's going to make any quarterback's job really, really hard. But I do want to give Tyson Bagent a whole lot of credit. He has definitely improved a lot in these last couple of weeks. I am very happy to have him on the Chicago Bears. But at this point, I am really excited to see Justin Fields back as well. And I'm not saying that Justin Fields would have won us that football game, but I think at this point, Justin Fields is obviously the better player, and he gives us the better chance to win. And I know a lot of people may disagree with me there, and that's totally fine. But it's going to be really good to have Justin Fields back. But I do want to say, congratulations to Tyson Bagent. These last 2 weeks, he has looked good. But obviously, at this point, we can sit here and say that at this point, the ceiling of Tyson Bagent at this point is just a really good backup quarterback in the NFL. So overall, Bears fans, the truth be told, the Chicago Bears just got dominated in every facet of this football game. Like I said, going into this football game, obviously the Los Angeles Chargers had a 2-4 record, but don't get anything twisted. The Los Angeles Chargers are still a very good football team, led by Justin Herbert. Obviously, Austin Eckler had a really good day. The Chargers defense had a really good day. They were able to really contain the Chicago Bears run game. D'Onta Foreman only had 34 rushing yards, and at the same time, we kind of stopped going to D'Onta Foreman, so that's discouraging. But overall, a really good win for Los Angeles Chargers. I'll give credit where credit is due. Once again, like I say, every single time, every single Bears loss, the Chicago Bears are just not there yet. We are not a good football team. We are inconsistent on every level of this team. Coaching, making plays, making sure we're executing plays. The Bears are just not a consistent football team. We'll have one win, and then we'll have a couple of losses, right? And I think that's the next step for this very young football team that is still trying to learn how to win. You have to be able to learn how to win back-to-back games, right? And we're just not there yet. So in terms of where we go next, we just play out the season. I'm really, once again, excited to get Justin Fields back. Justin Fields will now have 9 games, or whenever he comes back, he will have the remainder of the season to prove that he is the guy. You guys all know how I feel about Justin Fields, but I'm really excited to get Justin Fields back, and maybe the Bears can string out a couple more wins to end the season. But at this point, 8 games in, we kind of know what the Chicago Bears are, and we are still a rebuilding team that is still trying to figure out how to win consistently. So Bears fans, now we move on next week against the New Orleans Saints, another very tough test. That team is 4-4, and it's still a winnable game. It just depends on how prepared we look. If we can go in there and execute the right way, if coaching looks good, and maybe if we get Justin Fields back, maybe we can pull out a win. But it's still going to be a very tough game going to New Orleans to play in a very tough place. But as we sit now, we are 2-6 through 8 games, and the Chicago Bears either need to find a way to win, or it's going to be tank season once again here in Chicago. So Bears fans, before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. How are you guys feeling after the first 8 games of the Chicago Bears season? Let me know down below in the comment section. But before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Better than that, be back for all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.